Everyone, hope everything is going well. Alrighty, I wanted to do this live for quite some time. I didn't have the time, just came back from vacation. So, yeah, hope everything is going well on your end. Let's look at some of the comments. I may have Splenda come on later on and maybe a few other people if they want to join on. Where is Juan? He's hiding apparently in Australia. Yeah, I'll be back in a sec. Hold up. All right, I'm back. That's quick. All right. Patcha says Bob Boozle and I will be starting a podcast and have to come up with a good name. The Tinfoil Hat Crew. I don't know. I wanted, yeah, maybe we should have both you and Bob Boozle on one of these days. Two Mavridites and cards. That'd be funny. Will says, Juan, our fearless hero, protector, woman, exposing misogynist, right and left. Yeah, good thing. I could feel it coming. Yep. Pittsburgh, good evening, Rahul in chat. Yes, and looking forward to that live stream. I think, what is it, in a few weeks? Zach of all trades, Juan, you in the chat? I tried to email him, though. Turn yourself in, brah. So that's a funny story. The cops are trying to get this guy, but I think there will be some difficulty. I'm probably going to reach out to the cops involved in Australia if the guy that I'm dealing with allows me to. He's Juan Gan. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's a great name. That Juan Garcia guy killed me, was so sanctimonious and analogous to one of those religious hypocrites. Yep. And I did, what, 10 videos last year or early this year, whatever it was. And people were like going nuts on me. Close the Pornhub window and let's get this show on the road. Very funny. Will Grier in the chat. I need to get his rookie auto. I mean, I collect all these autographs. That's the next on my list. Maybe I should get what's his name? Jeff Wilson's autograph, Ken Golden's autograph, all these guys. All these guys that are part of the mainstream of the hobby, just to get their autograph. John, what's going on, man? If he's in Australia, then he deserves what he's gonna get there. I don't even know if the cops are gonna go after him. They may just label this as a civil event. I mean, if he comes to the US, the dude is gonna go to jail, in my opinion. I'm down under, but haven't seen him. We'll keep an eye out. I know the cops have reached out to him to try to figure out one of these cases, but is he in Australia even? That's the question that I'm thinking about. The Cubs won tonight. Yeah, I heard they won 6-3. I wasn't at home, but yeah, that's good news. But when I don't watch the Cubs, they tend to win, so maybe I should just keep it that way. Yep, October 4th. Yep, so just remember, all of you out there, to tune into Pittsburgh's channel. He's had on Splenda in the past, and we'll make it happen. Has to be hard for someone in Australia to find a criminal on their island since it was started as a prison for criminals. I have a bunch of buddies in this hobby that are in Australia. Now, I don't know if they're descendants of those criminals. I don't know if they just immigrated there recently, but I do have a fan base in Australia. So yeah, Splenda said he's gonna come in 20 minutes. I did send some message to another individual as well if he's available, but this was just kind of last minute. Legit turned down Greer's NT Logo Man auto 3 months ago. Didn't want to spend $400. So the thing is this Will Grier? Is he just going to be part of a joke for the next 20 years, and you just might as well collect it just for the hell of it? I think we should. He's not in the U.S. No, he's not in the U.S. Australia has to have crazy strong RICO laws for the amount of MC clubs. I don't know what MC stands for. But here's the thing. I got a crazy tip. I couldn't corroborate it. And I actually went to Ravel about this. And Ravel said that this is probably something that you can't trust. But someone said that, this guy was basically a puppet and there were other figures involved and that he's in the Philippines. Now, once again, I couldn't corroborate it. And the dude, he gave me a tip that here's Cardporn's number. And what was the craziest part of that tip, once again, I thought it was a fake, was that the number, I reached out to someone that I trust. I'm not going to name who, but he did a search of the phone number and it pointed out to Cherry Collectibles. Now, once again, I'm not saying that that tip was authentic or real. I'm just saying this is what was, given to me as a tip. I haven't said that publicly, privately I've been messaging people about that. So it is what it is. It may just be a nothing burger. Let me just reiterate that. I know that they've done videos with each other in the past, about 3 years ago. This is what Dan the Cardman sent, is that Juan used to, he didn't show his face, but they said, oh, Juan's being charitable. You see that time to time, all these con men, they're all about charity. They're all about helping the downtrodden when they don't really give a crap about that. So that's something to note, everyone. I hope he shows up on the Australian version of Dog the Bounty Hunter. Yeah, exactly. 100%. Motorcycle clubs. Okay. Okay. I don't know my lingo well. We do have a lot of motorcycle clubs, but there's a huge love-hate relationship with the police. Okay. K. Salazar says, you are really good for the hobby. Keep up this great investigative news you share with us. Your voice scares the fools out of the hobby. What's quite interesting is I think I've hit a nerve with some people that are very influential in this hobby. And I'll just keep it at that. Some of the DMs I've gotten, some of the emails I've gotten, I think there's a lot more to this. Why you don't see too many people talking about this. You won't see too many people talking about this is because a lot of people are involved. Now, in one of the posts in Instagram, I was just messing around. I'm on Instagram on my computer right now, but if I go to my account, I can't share my screen. I don't have two screens on me. But if I go to the post from the other day, I remember I went to what is it called? One of my posts. I just said that the list is similar to the Epstein list. I was messing around, but how I said is similar was that, hey, look, a lot of people are involved and everyone wants to keep quiet. And that's true. A lot of people want to keep quiet about this because some of these guys, these influencers, they were hanging out with Cardporn. If you go through some of their podcasts, some of them who I've messaged in the past, they were hanging out with him at the National and like after parties or whatever like that. And I'm just wondering how many content creators were just like chilling with him. How many people were there? Once again, you won't see too many content creators discuss this. I mean, on YouTube, yeah, you've had individuals do a video here and there, but that's about it. This should probably be talked way more because guess what? A lot of people are involved. A lot of people involved. And if this guy was almost able to scam Migray and may have, I'm being careful with my language, may have influenced Ken Golden with potentially fake Photoshop pictures of LeBron's RPA card, that's insane. Okay, people with a lot of experience may have gotten duped. I did get Ken Golden's version of his side of the story. He couldn't talk about the Spiegel brothers lawsuit that, which I alluded to right now, but I did reach out to one of the Spiegel brothers, and for now, they've told me what I can say publicly is that they are confident in their lawsuit and they're going to go from there. So that's something I want to look at. What will the Spiegel brothers be able to do in terms of this lawsuit? Because right now they are facing some hurdles and some challenges. According to Paul Lesko, they have to pay $5,000, uh, or they may have to pay $5,000 to get Instagram to release the information that it is Juan Garcia, even though they had third-party information explaining all of that. The judge wasn't having it. So just because they may have evidence proving hanky panky, they may face challenges in the court of law. Patches says the whole Cardporn thing has to have a group of people involved with it. Screams of a multi-person scheme, more people in more than one country, and this is apparent. Yeah, exactly. And I think that account, in some way, shape, or form, was either paying people to have posts or another company was involved with it. My initial thought process at the time was I believe that someone at Collectors had, or one of their companies had him on payroll. That was my thought process. I asked Ken Golden. Ken Golden said no, that was not the case. Now, I do want to hear, I do want to see what the Spiegel brothers' point of view is. Now, some people were coming after me when I had Ken Golden say that, had his response. Some people said that, hey, look, I'm doing PR work. I got his side of the story. Now, I do want to hear the Spiegel brothers' side of the story, be it in discovery or conversation, interview, whatever it is. That is what I want to hear. Now, they can't say too much either, as Ken Golden couldn't say too much about the case, but that is, I think, a huge thing to discuss. And once again, these influencers are not going to say anything about this, or they're not going to say too much about this. Don't forget that Cherry collectible guy defending Cardporn before all this went down. Where is that guy trying to wash the Cardporn stain off his name? So I think Grayson, I think I saw a live of him on Instagram. And what he said was that, hey, look, they've done some videos with him in the past. And they were trying to infer that, they did nothing wrong. And I think someone told me that the guy Grayson may have said that, hey, they think they may be investigated about that. But once again, this is what someone told me. I didn't watch that whole clip. I know he went on Instagram to talk about this. But all I know, through video evidence, once again, sent to me by Dan, the card man, a while back, was that Juan was doing like some sort of pack opening of Jordan cards from 3 years back. They had a ton of views on that video if you just go to Cherry Collectibles. And in that video, it says, "Thanks, Juan." And it's had that distinctive voice of Juan Garcia. And that distinctive voice I found elsewhere, and I sent to a guy in Australia. And in Australia, that dude, he had the same voice of that individual, Juan, where he scammed him. because his wife recorded it. And on top of it, that was sent to Darren Rovell. Darren Rovell was then able to break that BBCE situation going on, how he got scammed. So that's how I got indirectly involved with this. Just because I got a video recording or an audio recording of, it's a video recording of Juan Garcia's voice. So, all the people that hated on me, did they apologize? No. Did they reach out to me saying, hey, look, I was wrong on this? No. They won't, because they're either involved with it or they want the story to die away. Just in my opinion. Fact that Rahul has 3,100 subs and has the voice to get the attention of names with a ton of subs shows how his voice is being heard by a demographic those people in card makers need the most. Yeah, thanks. I'm surprised too. Like I said, I don't have a big channel, but I think I've struck a nerve with a bunch of influential people in this hobby. I'm not trying to boast. It's just me, just being flat out honest with all of you here. And that's why I think there's a lot more underneath the surface that some of these people are scared of. I just don't know completely what it is. And the fact that Cardporn deleted his Instagram account, that's a huge red flag. Huge red flag. I mean, there were so many red flags that I discussed in my older videos. People said that I was over the top. People said that, oh, you're being too negative. I could show clips. I have clips of people where it would not make them look good right now. That's why they're quiet about it. And the thing is that, what I found interesting, these individuals, they were like downplaying this Cardporn situation after it occurred, saying, oh, it's just a scam here and there. Now we should be naming names. It was the Cajun guy from Louisiana. I've heard Cajun Cardboard or whatever. He was downplaying the situation. Cardporn promoted this guy at least once. And he's saying, oh, let's downplay it. Like, when you hear something like that, that's a red flag. That's someone that I would keep on my radar. Like, why would you be saying that? I have screenshots of that guy praising Kurt's Card Care, okay, in one of the posts. Now, it could be a nothing burger. I'm just saying, hey, this is a small observation that I noticed. And a great curator was saying, oh, we should be watching out for hobby watchdogs. The same guy that makes up comps, the same guy that makes up content, or makes content up for the sake of entertainment, right? He was saying all this stuff. And I was giving, sports card therapist, be like, seriously, you don't understand when you promote this guy, this is what happens. And he was surprised, like, why am I going after him? Well, first of all, you downplayed the Cardporn situation. You went after me indirectly, 7-8 months ago. And then you get this curator guy saying, oh, we should watch out for hobby watchdogs on his channel. And he's surprised that I'm, calling him out. It's like stuff like that. These influencers or Instagram people, you got to keep an eye out. Now, there aren't the big dogs, but I would be looking at them very closely. Trading cards immortal. The rabbit hole runs deep in the hobby, it seems. Oh, yeah. Hobby has always had a core group of people that influence so much. It doesn't last very long as they get greedy too fast and flush it all the way. All righty, we're going to grab on a guest or have a guest on. Splenda, what's going on, man?
Not much, brother.
Not much. You seem really dejected at that Notre Dame game.
To say the least, yeah. I feel like my dog got hit by a car, bro.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Dude, I mean, let me give some context. Notre Dame does this in big games, and yes, this calls for a Miller Lite because I need.
Oh man,
I need one. So
is it?
let's take this back to 2000. I think it was 2005, 2006. And bro, I called this as soon as Notre Dame screwed up their last drive and had to punt back to High State because I was at this game. Remember the Bush push game at Notre Dame with Reggie Bush? They
It
won on
was
the
so,
last second. They pushed
it,
it
it
in.
was so long ago. Oh, where Matt Leinart pushed him into the end zone. Is that the game?
Yeah, they pushed it
Okay.
in. And
Yeah.
bro, I was at that game where like we had USC at the time was the team. And
Oh
like we
yeah, I
got
remember.
that
Yeah, yeah.
last
That was.
second play. And bro, I was there. I was on the goal line, like sitting right there on that goal line and watching
Ouch, man,
it
that
happen.
sucks.
And
I
bro,
mean,
as
I
soon
remember
as
that
that
game.
guy
Yeah.
caught the ball at the one, and Buka caught it at the one, and they had like 7, 8 seconds left, I was like, this is the Bush push all over again. And sure as hell.
Yeah,
So
I saw it on third down. You're drinking
here's,
Miller Lite. That's
here's
so
to
funny.
the Bush push 2.0.
So the thing is, I remember, or I mean, this was like what 15, 20 minutes ago. It was third and goal, and what the ball was on the 2 yard line. And I told my wife, they should just run it in. They're gonna score.
Yeah,
She said
yeah.
she agreed. Yeah. As
I don't know
they
why they
handed
threw
off,
it.
I'm like, yeah, they're gonna score a touchdown. They
Yeah, I
scored
don't
a
know why
touchdown.
they threw it. What would it have been? Second down? Or no, they spiked it, so it would have been third down. Like, I don't know why they threw it on that one. I thought they were gonna run it there. And when they threw that incomplete pass, there was 3 seconds left, and I was like, "Perfect. Just enough time for a run play."
Yeah.
Dude, totally dejected.
Maybe this will make you laugh. Bargain boxer, Bush push something like Cardporn is involved in.
I blame Juan for Reggie Bush pushing Leinart in. I blame Juan for all my KD cards going down in price. I blame Juan for everything. Every loaded box that we see from the same people opening loaded boxes, I blame Juan.
Do you blame
I need a
Juan?
scapegoat. I need scapegoat right now.
Do you blame Juan for Mama Breaks keep on getting the hits?
Yeah, I blame Juan. I mean, who else? Who else's fault would it be at this point?
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. And when in doubt, blame Juan.
Hmm. He's the safe bet.
Yep,
I
yep.
blame Juan. But yeah, it is funny how like the same people just keep getting crazy hits.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see Dan's video yet. I just said that he just asked a question, I think. Did Card Collector 2 get a loaded box?
I don't know. At this point, I'm not surprised, dude. If you're tied into the big wigs, it's probably happening. I just don't believe in the coincidences anymore at this point. I believe in marketing. I don't
Oh
believe
yeah, I believe in marketing too.
in
It's just wild. It's wild. Let's take a look at some of the comments down. I know that weekend, like what is it, like 3 weeks ago? We were on a live with Dan, and that whole card porn situation was going on. And I know both of us, were weighing in, but why does it seem that a lot of people drink the Kool-Aid? Like, what's up with that? I
it's
don't understand. I was blowing the horn 8 months ago. This wasn't, I wasn't the earliest one. There were others as well. I think David Kahana, he told me that he was railing against card porn, way before. So I'll put it at that. But it just seems weird. I was talking about it. People said I was insane. So
it sounds weird to us because we're not Kool-Aid drinkers. Right now, I'm a Miller Lite drinker and probably gonna have a few more. But if you, it's not like I get that it happens in the hobby, and that's like what that's what brings like me and you and like-minded people that we talk to together, and that's why we think the way we do. But like if you look at it,
yeah,
this is it's like a everyday problem. Look at the things that go on in society where it's like
no,
we've been talking about crazy conspiracies like 6 months, 12 months, year and a half ago, and like it's all come out to be pretty relevant and true. So
yeah.
it seems like you calling this cardboard thing out like 8
It
months
was a piece
ago,
of cake,
like
like
I
yeah,
understand because it's just like it's like how things go. And the way we look at things and the way we, assess things, we see things a lot differently. So we'll talk about it openly, and then it seems like in 6 months to a year, it's like everyday news now. A lot of things that we've talked about, not card related, have turned out that way.
Yeah,
So I'm not
exactly.
surprised that things within the hobby turn out that way too. Because I don't say this as like, I'm not trying to insult people, but like there is a herd mentality when it comes to almost anything. Where it's like if it makes you uncomfortable or if it's something that you think like, oh, that can't be, everybody's going to disregard it. And then when the receipts show up, then everybody's like, oh well,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Well,
like,
yeah,
oh
you have the
well,
receipts. I
yeah.
need receipts. I live in the suburbs. Everything's all grand in the suburbs.
And that's what it is. It's that mentality where it's like my life's grand and easy, and I don't have to think about the negative things or bad things. I want everything to just be, happy go lucky all the time. And it's like, if
Right.
anything, like that's why I always used to say, like, the hobby's a lot like LARPing. And it's like its own little world and it's its own like escape from reality. And I get that it can be that for a lot of people, but it's like
Right.
it's still reality though. Like there's bad things that happen and there's fraud and crazy shit that happens. And it's like when somebody's willing to talk about it or ask the questions, instead of like blacklisting them and trying to cancel culture them, like how tolerant is that? Shouldn't you engage in those questions? Or like, why is it bad for these people who have so much esteem and authority in the hobby to answer these questions? Like, why is that so taboo?
Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, like, we're both considered truthers if you want to go down that rabbit hole. And like people like for the last 10, 12 years, people say you're insane, you're a nut job, you're a nut job. And then I come on YouTube, show my face. You're nuts, you're a nut job, you're a conspiracy theorist. Oh, what are you going to talk about? The moon landing, JFK? You're gonna get into what, 9/11 stuff? Like, they're
You
going to
know,
throw
I
all
mean,
that stuff.
people who will throw those isms out at people are the people the most least knowledgeable about those topics because all they know is the mainstream narrative. They haven't done any like that's what I mean. Like they haven't broken out of their LARPing land or their matrix to even question anything they know about a lot of those topics. But see, that's why they defer to like, oh, you want to talk about the moon landing? You want to talk about JFK? And it's just like the only reason you're saying it that way is because all you know is what you've been told. You haven't done any bit of independent research or heard any outside the mainstream accounts of those situations. And it's like it's from other experts. It's just those experts get silenced for a certain reason.
Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of people say, oh, like they accuse us of like, oh, you guys watch Fox News. I don't watch Fox.
Fuck no, dude. We don't
Yeah,
watch.
maybe like 10 years ago I did, but
Yeah,
like
I
now,
know. Now I don't
I
watch
mean, like
anything
now,
because if
so
you
like,
you
so
follow the
they,
money, it's all owned by the same people.
yeah,
So it's
it's
like
like,
I don't listen to that. Like and then when you have these uh different ideas or like you believe different things outside of the matrix of mainstream anything, hobby, news,
yeah,
anything.
right.
You're labeled these things because it's like I'd rather shut this person up and not engage in the conversation or even hear their perspective because I'm comfortable with the matrix and the Kool-Aid I sip. I like my flavor Kool-Aid, and it's like I spit that shit out a long time ago.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've been dealing with this, like I said, last 10 years and people are saying the same things. I'm like, I'm not going to stop, you
No,
know?
not now. No.
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
lost family and friends that think I'm nuts about a lot of things. Now, I have had a lot of people come back to me and they're like, bro,
Yeah, you're kind of right. Yeah, no
yeah,
one's gonna say
you're
that.
kind of right.
Just like this Cardporn thing. Just look at how many of these YouTubers, right? They say, "Oh, Darren Ravel." Yeah, Darren Ravel did a great job, and the guy from China did a great job.
Yeah,
But
shout out.
are they gonna shout? I mean, Neo did shout, me and Dan out.
Mhm.
Dustin did as well. Sports Card Radio did as well. I'm not gonna deny that, but like a lot of other people, they're gonna like keep quiet. They're only gonna, talk about it briefly and just move on. And I'm just wondering how many of them hung out with Juan Garcia at the National.
But
So
see, I mean, if you had the opportunity, maybe not this recent national, but in nationals past, I bet you a bunch of people were in the circles with him, or I don't know, maybe did business with him. I don't know the full extent of the spider web, but yeah,
I mean, I
know
know
a
for
lot
a
of people
fact.
willing to engage because they weren't willing to vet, and they were to just blindly trust. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to act like I'm perfect. There's times I've been burned on things where it's like, man, maybe I shouldn't have trusted somebody, or maybe I shouldn't, or maybe I should have looked deeper into this person, and maybe I shouldn't have been. Everybody's done it.
Yeah, everyone's
But,
done
like
it at some
but I
point.
think there's that blindness, that alter, like, people put blinders on because you see Cardporn account has so many followers, and they have a blue check mark, or they're affiliated with so and so, and they've done auctions with so and so, and they know so and so, and that fools a lot of people. But for me and you, like, we look at that as like the higher up you get, like, you got to know stuff, or you got to be involved in stuff.
My tinfoil hat's going is like, hey, look, are these guys compromised? Are these plants?
Hmm.
Are they, if you want to go down the rabbit hole, are they, intelligent, are part of the deep state, quote unquote, you know, if you want to go that way, but
Yeah.
it's crazy. Let's look at some of the comments here. Oh yeah, did you pick up anything? You have any cards?
I sent a few off to grading.
Any
Uh,
KD cards you pumped? I don't have them on
I
me.
do
I'll
have a
be
Katie
honest.
Flawless still a PSA that I will pump as soon as I get it back. But hold on, let me see. I don't know if I have anything handy. I don't know if I've made any. Oh, you know what? I did pick up one thing I can show off. It's nothing crazy. It's actually not a KD either. So, take that. It's a second year black refractor Ladainian Tomlinson. Topps Chrome
LT.
refractor. Yeah.
I
Second
mean,
year. It's
I know
BSA
you sent
7.
me a message the other day, right? Remember you said, Reckoning and Nick Chubb, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do you have to say about that? I mean, you
We're
sent me a
still
message
mourning
about that.
Nick Chubb's knees, which, first off, I do like Nick Chubb. I think he's a phenomenal player, and like I hope he comes back and is able to play football again. Full discretion. But between me and John and our like running back PC rivalry, all that shit he talked about Ladainian Tomlinson. I don't remember Ladainian Tomlinson ever having multiple knee injuries and missing seasons. It really wasn't Nick Chubb's fault. That's why I feel bad. Like, I do like Nick Chubb, but I have to like throw shit at Reckoning because he's got all those Nick Chubb cards, and it's
He's
like,
gonna do a video on this now. Just wait. He hasn't done a
good.
video in a
I hope
while.
he does, because he would be forced to recognize why Ladainian Tomlinson is better because of his durability, which Nick Chubb does not have, or a kneecap right
Yep. Good
now.
points. Good
Mike,
point.
drop.
I thought you were gonna say Big Mike, but that's
Big Mike. No,
oh,
we're gonna be cancel cultured, and even though that one dude who was talking about, you know, his interactions with a former president,
oh boy. Oh boy.
that wouldn't surprise me. Yo,
Yep, we went
that's
to a
but you
hotel
know what? Like
with the guy,
me
Big
and you,
Mike's guy.
we've known about shit like
Yeah,
that. Like,
we've
that's
known
not
about this
news.
for a decade. I mean,
That's not news to us.
this
Like,
is this is the
we've been like, bro, we've been said this.
we've been, if you're a
Yeah,
truther, you know all this stuff a while back. I mean, we could even start like a podcast on like tinfoil hat stuff, and
we
people would be
should.
like,
We should just like do something outside the hobby where we just talk
all this stuff.
recklessly about the real conspiracy shit
See,
that we talk about.
yeah, and then
We would
people would,
probably have a lifelong lifeline of like a week on YouTube before we got thrown off
yeah, we would get banned
real quick.
real quick. We'd have to go on like one of these other websites. Anyways, Brendan Ryan says everyone is compromised. Yeah, I agree. I
Everybody.
agree.
Everybody.
Yep. I know you sent me a text message a long time ago. You said, the next stream, you gotta incorporate Nick Fuentes into this. I'm like, how are you gonna tie this into sports cards? How does it tie into sports cards?
I don't know. I happened to watch an interview, and I was just thinking of you because I was like, this is some of the shit that Raul would listen to, or well, maybe not listen to. I don't take him seriously, but
Yeah, I don't either. I mean,
some
like,
of the ideas,
wasn't he protecting a groomer, a literal groomer,
yeah, that one guy you told me about.
Ali
Well, I don't know
Alexander?
about protecting, but yeah, he was
He
affiliated
covered
with
up.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, hey, look, even whatever you listen to, a lot of these guys are compromised.
Yeah, and everything.
Everything they have, like, they have something for everyone. I'm not saying in sports cards, but I'm just saying like anything you listen to politics. So everyone who says that we are like Fox News people, we don't listen to that.
No, because we know it's
It's
part of
like with
the
the left
same
right
people.
paradigm. It's just a
Yeah,
joke.
yeah, it's a part
Yeah.
of the
So
like. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, I'm just saying like it's the left right paradigm. They're trying to divide and conquer people. So,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, they want extremists battling. Like that's what they want. Will,
yeah.
I'm not drinking Bud Light. Will, it's Miller Light, bruh. I don't drink that shit.
Yeah. He's saying Dylan Mulvaney tinfoil hat stuff.
You're talking about Big
The
Mike? Yeah.
No,
Mike.
no, wasn't that the person that what was that brand that got canceled? Was
Yeah,
it
Bud Light. Bud Light.
Bud
Oh, I
Light?
thought you
Yeah,
were talking about Dylan Mulvaney because we talked about Big Mike because they're kind of
yeah,
both like the
yeah,
same.
yeah, both in the same boat. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Good point. Good
or
point.
same dress.
Same dress. But just think about it, like how dumb are these people running these companies, not knowing their audience?
See, that's where it like comes down to where it's like I don't believe in the stocks and shit anymore. Like I'm having little and less faith because it's like how could you as a mainstream market or brand like decide? Like think about Bud Light. Most people who drink Bud Light are probably like country bumpkins and frat boys. And you go and market Dylan Mulvaney like you're not appeasing your market share. Like that it doesn't make any sense why you would do that. I mean, I get the mainstream corporate thing is to go woke now, but it's like if you actually wanted to make money, you appease to your market share. And like the people who are buying up your product are not idealistically lined up like that. Like it's
I,
frat boys and country bumpkin dudes.
let me tie this into sports cards, like not knowing their audience. I think Fanatics is going to go SJW to a certain degree.
Oh, for sure, bro.
Exactly. They think that,
Ruben,
hey, they could probably get in line with these athletes and these celebrities if they go that way, and they could get more exposure. You get more exposure, you get more retweets, you get all this.
yeah, dude.
And then on top of it, I'm not, picking on Mama Breaks. I think she's a nice person. She DM'd me after I shared a story of her saying, "Hey," and I just asked, "Loaded box, yes or no?" She didn't send me, a bitter message. She kept it professional.
Right.
She just says, "Thanks for sharing." She could have been, a jerk to me or blocked me,
Yeah,
but I
I
think she handled it well.
yeah, I agree. I have nothing against anybody. I just happen to like I don't mind calling out where it's like, hey, you happen to get a ton of amazing hits out of your breaks. I would say the same thing about backyard breaks, where it's like, hey, I don't have anything against you, but like, I'm not blind where I'm looking at this and it seems like you happen to be getting some insane pools.
Right.
Let me ask questions. It's not like I hate anybody, but it's like, it's fair to look at things and just assess and be like, hey, something seems up to me. And I think that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's
And
fair.
then
Like,
and like the same people are like really promoted on the algorithm.
yeah, exactly.
A
Like,
lot of a lot of like things line up. It just seems like.
because here's the thing, I saw card porn. Card porn, in my opinion, used women as kids as shields.
Mhm.
So I'm just thinking out loud. I'm not making the accusation. I'm just asking the question: is Fanatics using, women and other protected groups to, do whatever they want as a shield?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
Maybe,
think that's
maybe
a fair
not.
question because a lot of the mainstream has turned to that, and I think like Ruben and Fanatics want to be a mainstream.
Same
You know,
company.
yeah. So like I understand what's going on because it's like the common theme that seems to be happening with corporate America. And like Fanatics wants to grow the hobby. They're pretty open about it.
Right.
It's like, what's the next move? Let's just copy what all the other corporations are attempting to do. But a lot of them you think would learn from like a Bud Light or a Target, and they'd be
Right.
like, hey, maybe we shouldn't go down this route exactly. Like, we might want to grow our product, which is fine, but it's like, maybe we shouldn't maybe we shouldn't go about it with the same ideology, if that makes sense.
Right, right. And that's now, the 90s was like all about MJ saying, "Hey, look, I'm not going to get involved in the political game, People of both sides buy my shoes." That's what Michael
Right,
Jordan, right. This is
right,
what Ken Golden told me on the phone, when I was asking him these questions. He said, as a business, you want to appeal to everyone to sell
right,
to.
right.
And that's why he doesn't get into the politics game. This is what he told me specifically. And then, Fanatics, I think, is doing a different strategy where they're going to try to, get maybe use politics to try to get in consumers. Will it work? Maybe, maybe not. But then, they use what Eli Manning, the Southern charm to, market to people in the South. So I don't know.
You gotta love Eli.
Eli,
Eli.
he beat
Every once in a
Brady
while, when I do watch BSPN, I
BSPN.
watch the Monday night coverage with the Manning brothers, and like, dude, they're
Yeah.
good. Like,
Yeah,
that's one of the
exactly.
few
To
good
to
decisions.
market to guys like you.
Yeah,
That's why they hired him.
that's and like to be fair, like they know football, and like that's one of the few good decisions BSPN has done, where it's like, yeah, let's get some football guys to talk about football. Like that's what people want. Like, I think that works. They did.
Indeed.
I think they made a good call with Pat McAfee too. I think that
You
was a good.
think so? Do you
Ah,
think that
I
he
do.
went after he was a threat to ESPN, so they just paid him off?
Probably, or I mean, a threat as far as like competitive within the same market. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like I can understand why they would lay off a bunch of people from BSPN who like suck at their job and just are useless, and then go fill that vacancy with a guy that's like he is growing and he does appease to a very big market share of the sports world that a lot of people they line up with.
Right, right.
Like, I'd have to admit, like, I think BSPN sucks. Like, they're horrible. But hiring Pat McAfee was a solid move.
So I do want to get into some tinfoil hat stuff about ESPN. So back in the day, ESPN was phenomenal.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, like Stuart
Stuart Scott,
Scott. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. That's the first name that you
Dan
think of. Stuart Scott.
Patrick.
Yeah,
Uh,
Dan
who
Patrick.
was the one guy who was absolutely hilarious? Super dry. Oh
Uh,
man, hold on. He
I
was
don't
like Susie
remember.
Colbert was there.
Yeah, they had a bunch of awesome people on ESPN
Dude,
back in
he
the
was
day.
hilarious. Why can't I remember his name? Anyway, I didn't mean to stop. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. And then now what the face of the network is what Stephen A. Smith, right? And I don't know, that guy, I think he just plays both sides, to be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think there's a
Because
reason he's got his own podcast now because I think he knows, like I don't think I think he deep down realized, like, I don't believe in everything that ESPN is doing in the way
yeah,
they go about things. So it's like I'm like preparing myself for either an exit or if I decide to say what I really want to say, if they want to cut ties with me, I'll have an outlet. Like he'll already have a podcast started.
yeah, I mean, I don't
Yeah, like,
understand
I might
Steve.
not agree with everything about Stephen A, but he is entertaining.
Right.
He does have good NFL, I'm sorry, NBA connections. Like,
Yeah.
I might not agree with all of his takes, but he is entertaining. Like, he's got nice not name recognition where he could have a solid podcast. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, I mean, like, I remember, Stephen A. Smith goes on, like, these political guys' shows, like Hannity and
yeah,
Levin. I don't watch those
yeah,
guys, but I'm just
yeah,
saying, like, on one end, he's going with them, and then on the other hand, he's saying, like, completely, things that are completely opposite of what he says on those shows. So I'm like, okay, so ESPN's telling him to basically, what's that phrase? Just to polarize people, make people pissed off, make it share
Yeah.
on
He's like
Instagram. I think that's what they do.
an agent of chaos within
Yeah,
the world.
exactly. Yeah, that's a good way of saying it.
Yeah. No, James, not Keith Olbermann, dude. That guy sucks. He's
Yeah,
a
something's up with him, man. I don't
bro.
know what it is.
That guy probably has 7 cats. Lives alone. Total freaking beta male. Like that guy's got issues.
That guy's issues. When he was with, I think like 10 years ago, he was dating a chick that was like 24 years old, and he was like in his 50s. I'm like, okay.
That's the one positive thing I've ever heard about him. Shout out. That's actually cool. Good for him. When I'm 50 some, I'm gonna be dating me a nice 20-some-year-old.
Oh man.
I won't be able to hear as well, so I can put up with it then.
Oh boy, man. Don't be like Cardporn, man. Don't be like Cardporn.
What, is that what he does?
No, I don't know. I'm just making it up. He just used
Oh, blame Juan. It's Juan's
blame Juan. Yeah, exactly. When in doubt, blame Juan. Bargain boxers, fanatics going after kids sounds like Cardporn would be interested in. We've come in full circle. Oh boy.
I can understand why you would want children as like a target audience for the marketplace. Like that makes sense. But like when you like use kids as a shield for things the way I think card porn potentially did, like yeah, that's when it's like okay. And you called a lot of that stuff out. I think P Ryan even called some of that stuff out.
Yeah, he did.
So like it's not like we're like talking at each other, like screaming, at the clouds from our front porch. Like I think other people notice these things and they have like hesitation and grievances. It's just how many people are willing to like vocalize it because
so
it's easier to stay quiet,
because
You're not gonna
here's
ruffle
the
feathers.
here's the thing. So if you're sponsored or want to be sponsored, you can't say this. You can't talk
Mhm.
like me. You can't talk like you. We can't talk about these pumpers and dumpers, right? They're gonna keep quiet. They're gonna play stupid. You know, I'm not gonna mention this one individual, but I had a conversation with you about this one individual, and he was completely playing dumb. He's saying like, "Oh, well, I didn't know this guy does this and that," but then I have receipts of him liking a post where I was completely bashing this individual. So
Yeah, bro.
I don't know, like they know what's going on. They won't say it because they want the advertisement money or they want a clout chase. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. I mean, people are gonna move how they're gonna move. I just would rather be like I'd rather say how I feel and be honest with myself. And if people don't like me because of it, I can sleep at night better than being like, oh, I'm just gonna be fake and I'm gonna do stuff for clicks. I mean, I don't have a platform or a channel or anything, so it's not like I'm doing anything for like clicks or clout. But like,
Yeah.
if I were in those shoes, I'd rather just be like, all right, if you don't like me or my opinions, then that's fine. Don't listen to me. But I'm not gonna like not express the way I think or feel or play dumb or naive to certain things that I know that's really going on.
Good points. Good points. Pat McAfee isn't going to last on ESPN unless Disney just ignores the amount of people within the company complaining about him and the show. Now, I don't know how long Disney is going to own ESPN.
Yeah, from what I keep gathering, I think they want to sell.
Yeah.
But the thing is, all the contracts. That's why you're seeing ESPN like dump all these anchors and commentators and stuff because it's like I think ESPN knows they can't sell their brand or Disney can't sell the ESPN brand with all of those existing contracts because it's just they're not going to make money, especially
How
based off the ratings. Like the ratings are not good for ESPN.
ratings, cable, what is it
Yeah,
called?
and
Cutting the cord?
it's not just their woke crap. It's like the
Cutting the
turn
cord.
of how streaming is now becoming a thing. Less and less people are going to sit down and watch ESPN when they can be like, I can turn on YouTube and turn on my like for me, I'm not gonna watch ESPN tonight to watch the highlights of Notre Dame. I'm gonna go right to the podcast of the guys I know who cover Notre Dame and listen to them for 2 hours, then watch ESPN for an hour and a half waiting for them to highlight the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think streaming is like the way. That's why I think the Pat McAfee thing was a pretty that was one thing that was smart on BSPN.
Yep, yep, exactly. And I'm just thinking, like, they paid out so much money for these contracts. I know the SEC is going to be on ESPN, I think, starting next year.
Mhm.
And if they're paying McAfee a ton of money, they have the football rights, I think, on Monday nights via, I think, ABC or whatever.
Mhm.
Like, how are they going to make money? Especially when people cut the cord. I just don't see it. I haven't crunched the numbers myself. It's just thinking out loud. And I think
Yeah.
that's why they went, all political, is because they thought that they could, boost the algorithm on social media to get more shares, retweets so people can watch. That's
Mhm.
why I think they pushed their people to do that, to be honest. And
Yeah.
then they realized that didn't help.
I mean, I think we can both agree, and even if you like don't agree with us, you'd have to acknowledge, like, based off the metrics, based off the numbers, based off everything, like, it's a sinking ship. And if there's one
Yeah.
common thread with these large conglomerates, corporations, whatever, it's like there's a reason the saying exists, like "go woke, go broke." And it's like people liked ESPN because it wasn't political. Like it was just sports. So that's the same thing with like Bud Light. Like they liked Bud Light because it was just a good old fashioned beer. Like they didn't want things pumped down their throat as far as like accept this or deal with this or look at this. It's like, no, just make a good beer and sell it to me.
Yeah, I mean, like, once you enter the political mainstream or whatever, or if you go down that path, you have to understand you're gonna, like, turn people off. Like, this conversation may turn some people off. I get it.
Mhm.
But guess what? I'm not selling you anything, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. But if you are, like, an athlete and you're sponsored and you're opening your mouth regarding politics, that could be not suicidal, but that could hurt your bottom
It's
line.
detrimental. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
certainly detrimental to your brand and your bottom line and your marketability. And it's like, I don't know, man. Everybody craps on Jordan. Well, not everybody, but like as far as the politics things, like, well, he should have done this, he should have done that. And it's like, well, he's sitting on a freaking mountain of money in probably one of the greatest sports brands ever existed because he didn't do that. So, like, based off your personal feelings, like the metrics and data show another story where it's like he actually did it correctly. Like you don't play into that stuff. You don't add, like, why would you put a target on yourself when you could totally avoid that?
Yeah, exactly. And what I'm thinking is, hey, you can make all that money and then you could donate your money to these initiatives to help people that are struggling.
Mhm.
Just so you make the most amount of money and then help the people out that need the help.
Yeah, like
That's how I would think you
people
should
should
run it.
donate to my non-profit. It's called Fund Steve's KDPC. Like that's my nonprofit. You should donate to that. Cardporn's good. He gave me all the blueprint on how to do this nonprofit charity thing.
Yeah,
Called,
just
it's
use
called,
children as a shield, use women
yeah,
as a shield.
it's called Fund the Steve's KDPC charity.
And then, you could just start, doing what ESPN does, and, I think you'd make a killing, Steve.
Dude, fanatics, give me a call. I'm your guy.
So you're gonna be hanging out with Meek Mill and Michael Rubin and hugging people? Is that how you're gonna roll?
It depends on what kind of KD cards Michael Rubin has to give me. I'm just kidding. I would never be in a plane. Dude, like I know how like these national things go, and I see how people flock to people like Rubin and Gary V and stuff. Like, honestly, if I was in that showroom floor with guys like that, like I wouldn't want to be around them. I'd rather just go look at cases and cards. Like
Yeah,
that's not what brings me to the hobby. Is like clout. It
yeah.
seems like there's a lot of clout going on. And
Y you know
frankly, like, yeah, I would never get in a private jet with Michael Rubin after I saw that Meek Mill shit.
Yeah, after I saw that, I see pictures right now, I'm like, "This guy looks like a likable guy," but then I'm saying, "Wait, he was with Meek Mill, and he was, like, hugging him, doing all that stuff?" I'm like,
Super
"What?
weird.
That was
Super
weird."
creepy. Yeah,
Like, no one's gonna say this, right? Maybe a few people, right?
because they
But
want that
no one. Yeah,
fanatics backing, so
they
they're
want
probably
that
be like,
deal with
"Man, this
Fanatic.
fucking dude looks like a creep," but, I mean, we don't want that clout, so we'll be like, "Yeah, Michael Rubin Looks like a
Yeah,
fucking creep.
exactly. And I'm just thinking, how many people part of the go along, get along gang, they want that, they want the money because they're in this industry. But
Mhm.
then they listen to us, but they won't say they listen to us because they agree with pretty much what we're saying. But they
Yeah,
can't say it because of like financial reasons. I
yeah.
wonder how many people like that are there. But I don't
Uh,
know.
I wouldn't know. I'm sure there's a decent amount of people that probably think like we do, and they're just like,
I can't say
know.
it out
I mean,
loud.
people that like have a voice within this hobby, I'm sure a lot of them do behind like they make their jokes, but it's like they're not going to get on, screen and talk about it, which I understand.
Yeah,
That's
I
not
understand.
everybody's lane, but I think private conversations. I think a lot more people would probably be like, yeah, dude, like I don't give a fuck about Gary Vee, and I think his cards suck, but I like going to the National, and like if he's there, I don't give a shit. I'm not going to make a big thing. But maybe on their TikTok reel or their Instagram reel, it's like, oh, hey, I saw Gary Vee and I'm going to do a 30-second, you know, video with him.
Right, right.
Sure, it happens.
Yeah, I'm sure that happens. And I'm just thinking that
Beta.
how many dudes were like salivating when they say, "Oh my God, Gary V, Gary
Dude,
V, I
it's
gotta
so
shake his hand."
weird,
I,
man.
I just
It's so
I
weird.
saw Gary V from a distance. I'm like, I'll pass.
Yeah.
I won't be a jerk to him. I'll be like, "Yo,
Yeah.
man, were you pumping and
Yeah.
dumping?"
I'm not saying you gotta
I'm
go out
not
and
gonna
get
be a
somebody
jerk,
to smile, but it's like, do you really need to like salivate over him and like do a reel with him and like try to brand yourself because you were within 10 feet of Gary Vee? Like it's weird, bro.
I mean, like, yeah, that's great. His story, his family came as immigrants, very poor refugees. He
Oh
became
yeah,
a multimillionaire. Great story, fantastic.
yeah.
It's
Respect.
inspiring. But how many people are going to be able to do what he does?
Yeah,
What I tell people is like, hey, look, if you can start a business, that's great, but do it as a side thing, you know?
I kind of sniffed the shit with him specifically since we're using him as an example. Like I sniffed the shit real quick when it was like, I'm gonna buy all the Topps Chrome LeBron James and Zion Williams Prism PSA 10s. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, wait a minute. You're a guy who's supposed to be a hobbyist, and you're talking about the rave of not rare cards. Like scarcity and condition are the two things that drive value in this hobby. And like one
Right.
of the biggest thing would be scarcity. And you're like talking about cards in this fashion and they're not rare. Like it just that told me right away. It's like I don't think he know. Like I almost call the bullshit where it's like I think it's a facade. I think it was like it was a market for him to manipulate. And like people can disagree and they totally can, but I do think it's a fair point to be like, hey, if you know anything about cards, like base cards aren't the thing to like they're not the things that are going to be a long like the long-term value is not going to be there because they're not scarce. I don't care
Yeah.
how goat the player is. Like base cards are not that. Like, sure, when you go back into vintage, there's a lot of things that go into account where it's like population count, like MJ10s. Like, I get it. Like, there's not a whole bunch of MJ10s. Like, that's going to drive a premium, and he doesn't have, well, now with the star card, like I guess there are options for him as a rookie, but a lot of vintage, there's not options as far as rookie cards. But like LeBron and Zion, like, dude, there's options. Like their Topps Chrome and their freaking Prism card, base Prism, base Topps Chrome are not going to be this long term, you know, collectible thing. Like, yeah, it's a nice card, but it's like it's not worth what we thought it was or what
I-
people thought it was.
I'm now just thinking you made like a lot of points. Just one of the points you mentioned the name LeBron James.
LeBron James.
We were on a live stream some time ago,
Yeah.
and I brought up the topic. Hey, look, you know, I'm not sure if some hanky panky went down, but it just seems strange that guess what? LeBron James, he gained weight some year, right? Remember, didn't you say something about that? You
Yeah,
observed like
about
1 year?
PEDs.
Yeah, PEDs,
Yeah,
right?
dude. Didn't something come happen to come out? where he's named in some
His
report.
wife was named or something?
Oh, yeah, maybe? Hmm.
But the thing is that I don't think this is like steroids in baseball, and the reasoning is that Jose Canseco snitched on everyone.
Yeah.
Is anyone gonna snitch on LeBron James?
Well,
I don't.
let's say there is validity to this.
Yeah,
Let's just circumstance, we don't know, but, like, let's say
yeah,
there is validity to this. No one's going to talk about it.
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not like no ESPN certainly won't talk about LeBron James being potentially involved in a PED scandal. Now, my man Barry Bonds, who never technically tested positive, they're going to blackball him from the MLB Hall of Fame. But they're going to look at LeBron's all-time scoring record, and nobody will bat an eye at it.
So what's the difference between Bonds
There is
and
none because both are speculation. Like, we could probably agree. We think Bonds was on stuff, and even
yeah,
I, as
we
a
think
Bonds fan, would agree.
yeah.
Probably he was, but he's never tested positive. So, like, it's speculation keeping him out of the Hall of Fame, but no one would ever dare to question LeBron's all-time scoring leading.
Is it because Bonds was a jerk to the media?
Yes, 100%. There's a different narrative between the two.
But, like, hold on, but isn't LeBron James, like, at that stature, like,
He's not a
I
jerk to
mean,
the
but
media. In
he's
fact, the
not a jerk.
media,
Is
like,
he
bends over for him.
standoffish? Is he standoffish?
No.
No? Is he pleasant? So he's pleasant. I haven't followed, his relations with the
Oh, yeah.
media.
Like,
You would probably know.
LeBron doesn't have, like, this disdain, like, it's nothing like Barry, dude. Barry's
Yeah,
relationship,
I know Barry Bonds was a jerk. Yeah, I
he
know
was a
that.
jerk, and to be honest, there were times I think the media portrayed him incorrectly, but
Yeah.
yeah, Bonds was a jerk, even with his own
Yeah.
teammates and shit, like, I get it.
Yeah, I've heard stories.
LeBron's not like that. Like, to be honest and to be fair, like, I'm not the biggest LeBron guy, but, like, he
Yeah.
seems like a generally nice guy, not like
Yeah.
Bonds.
Yeah, okay.
But the media does freaking brown nose to LeBron so bad. They'll stick their whole nose up his asshole. You know?
Right, right. Like, we come from the tinfoil hat world, and, you know, the behavior patterns that I'm seeing is LeBron is protected. So, that's why I don't see this PED situation blowing up.
Yeah, no one
Just like certain politicians are protected. Like, you won't see certain stories come out or talked about that much, but
Patches is killing it in the chat right now.
yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, but before we get to patches, your boy, Sports Reckoning, he's calling you
Well,
out, man. He says Nick
John
knees is fine. He's playing tomorrow. Nick Chubb is Batman.
well, he's like Cap Man because his kneecap is gone, bruh. Like, John, you and I go way back. We're pretty much brothers from other mothers, and our running back camaraderie is what brings us together. But in this case, I think it's finally like blatant and apparent that LaDainian Tomlinson is just better. Like, if LaDainian Tomlinson came back from retirement and played tomorrow, he would be better than Nick Chubb right now.
Nick Chubb has what, a torn MCL, partial torn MCL, so it
I don't
isn't
know
as
how it's
bad.
partial, man.
I think yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, if you tear something and you're a
That
running
knee
back,
got bent
you're in a lot of
so
pain.
bad.
I don't know how you run through it. They could probably, give you some sort of injection or whatever, some painkillers or whatever, but still, it's going to be challenging for Chubb. I had to take him off the fantasy thing for tomorrow. He's on the
I'd
bench
say
tomorrow.
so. I'd say so.
I'm
You're not gonna play him this year, bro. He's
Yeah, I
done.
mean, I was playing him on Monday night, and I'm like, "Oh,
I gotta be
crap."
honest. Like, I hope the best for Chubb because I do like him. I think he's a fantastic back, and I don't like the Browns at all. I'm a Steelers fan, but
Yeah.
that's the second major knee injury on that knee for him. He had something similar happen in college, and like the fact that he came back the way he did from that was great and borderline miracle.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think this is more career threatening than people are talking about.
Interesting,
Too
interesting.
bad LT played for a women's league.
What?
You mean the same women's league where he set the NFL rushing record for a season? That women's league? Oh, John. Silly John.
Like betting on a running back is really hard, unless if it's like
In
what's his
today's
name,
game.
Barry Sanders.
Well, what's the difference in the game in the last decade? When LT played, you didn't have guys cutting each other's knees out all the time because you were allowed to tackle high. The target area has changed for defenders. So you're seeing a lot more running backs break down sooner because it's like, dude, they're constantly getting their legs cut out because guys aren't allowed to hit high anymore. And like, I get it. This is all about player safety, but let's be honest, it's not about player safety. You're seeing more ligaments, tendons, and knees go in today's NFL than ever before. And guys back in the day had less rules and it was far more barbaric and there was less injuries happening when it was technically more unsafe.
Interesting. Will S says, I don't know this. Do you know anything about Serena? Don't forget, didn't Serena Williams run to her panic room when drug testers came to her house? I'm just asking questions. Do you know anything about this? I
Dude,
don't.
I feel like Will, give me a time frame. Was that like in like I'm trying to think. I feel like I heard something about her and PEDs, but I'm not positive. Like I don't know if he's bullshitting, but I think there was a time where briefly something may have come up with her in PEDs, but I'm not positive. I can't not enough to be certain. I don't know if he's joking or not, but part of me feels like he might be serious because I feel like something did happen. But it feels like that was a long time ago. I'm not positive though.
Yeah. Pat just says drug testers will ask for a sample in the middle of a funeral if needed. They do not care and have found players on family vacations to get a sample. I did not know that.
Mm.
That's
Sounds
something
like
new to me.
Patches might be working for the league, following people on vacation, asking for pee because he's got some insight, bro.
I mean, Pat just seems to know a lot, but maybe he knows a lot of tinfoil hat stuff too.
Agreed. Shout
Yeah.
out Patches. Keep that
She did in 2018. Okay. I
Yeah, for
don't
some
know.
reason, I was thinking it was maybe farther back than that, but I think I do remember hearing. I just can't remember the context of it. Again, not to be like I don't care about tennis, so
I'll
it probably was something I heard about and didn't think much of it.
get this. Oh man, going to tinfoil hat land. Pat just says, wonder why they don't have a Nick Chubb double, but they had one for DeMar Hamlin. Oh boy,
Bro, bro,
dude,
the
dude.
Browns need a Nick Chubb double. Patches is on fire. Fire.
Did you know that they have these body doubles for these presidents and
Oh,
prime
dude,
ministers?
yeah, bro.
Like
That's not new. That's something that's been.
yeah, that's something. Yeah. So I think I saw something on Telegram a couple months ago where Zelensky, the guy running Ukraine. So for some reason, the Polish TV they had a picture of Zelensky and the body double in the same thing, and they got
Yeah,
it on camera. I mean, they don't talk about it publicly, but like
yeah.
all this stuff is out there.
I saw that clip. Like,
You saw that clip, yeah.
people still believe the narrative on Ukraine at this point. It's like,
Oh, you're gonna get in trouble. You don't know how many people on Instagram would probably hate
bro, I'm shadow
hearing that.
banned once a week. Like, dude, I'll go from like some people looking at my shit to like 30. It's like, all right, I'm getting shadow banned. People
Getting
don't. I don't know.
shadow
The
banned
Instagram overlords definitely don't like me, man. Twitter
because
definitely
you're a Russian agent, right? Is that what it is?
work for Russia. That's what Hillary said. I work for Russia. Twitter
Oh
got rid
boy.
of me, so I'm surprised. I probably only have so much time left on Instagram. They're probably like, this dude has sports cards, so it's like, what can we really
Yeah.
do?
Well, what can you do? Like,
Yeah.
I noticed like a video that I did on Bill Gates or something like that. Remember, I said I asked you and I asked my buddy John, who's been on this program. I asked both of you, hey, do you think it's appropriate for me to do this video? Remember when what's his name, Nat Turner? He showed a
Oh, bro,
picture
I
of
was
Bill
the one. I
Gates.
think I sent it to you. Where you
When
had
you're the one that first, yeah, you sent it to me. Then I'm like, hey, I gotta do that. Like, do you see the comments in that video I made? Like, they were just, like, coming
People
after me.
thought, "Triggered." They were pissed. I
So
commented. I shared it on my story when Nat posted that thing. I
yeah,
was
I
like,
mean,
"Bro, this dude's on Epstein's list. Like, what the fuck are you
no,
doing?"
he wasn't on Epstein's list. He hung out with
Yeah,
Epstein in
man. Like,
2013. People said that you don't have your facts right. Like, dude, he was hanging out with Epstein way after this
no.
news came out.
Yeah, dude.
Why would
It's
you be hanging out with
no.
Epstein?
Yeah.
This is not 2004, 2005. This is what 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
What were you doing?
Yeah, bro.
You know, like I heard stories of this dude. He was like running around naked chasing chicks. You know, I don't know if that's true, but like I heard all crazy things. You know, he's buying all the farmland and all that stuff. You
Yeah,
know, why is he
because
buying the farmland? To poison the food supply?
yeah,
I don't
dude.
know.
I
It's
mean,
like a why? Why did
there's certain countries that have banned his big pharma related foundations and stuff. So it's like we're not making this shit
this
up. It takes a little bit of
exactly?
Google. Just Google shit instead of like
Yeah, maybe Google
drinking the
shadow
fucking
bans it.
Kool-Aid and chugging it. Like go Google something where it's like these guys are just hateful tinfoil hatters. It's like no, fact check us. Like go to Google and see. Like there's
No,
certain
you
big
Google
pharma things that
the
he's involved
algorithms
with
messed up on
that are
Google.
literally banned in certain countries and him practicing in countries because of the shit he's done. So it's like you blindly saying like, "Oh, well, Bill Gates has my best intentions." It's like, no, he doesn't. He wants to make money. He's a businessman.
Or he's part of the elite.
Illuminati.
Compromised.
Yeah. I
I
don't
don't know.
trust old Billy Boy. He's not
Whatever.
my guy.
Billy Boy?
Old Billy Boy. Billy Boy and his island buddies. I don't like. I'm not.
Well, 26 times on the island?
That's it. That's not that much. And it could have been. He could have been going there for anything, bro.
Yeah, I mean, he could just been going for massages, you know? Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Oh,
oh,
oh, oh.
that's tinfoil hat talk.
Oh, that's like, oh, you can't say anything about card porn because he's showing pictures of kids on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Well, doesn't he have that? Wasn't he affiliated with that kid account that you were
Yeah,
talking
kids
about?
with care or whatever.
And like, dude, having the name, like, I know it's a spoof where it's like card porn. Like, I get the idea, like it's a joke, but it's like, dude, you're still using the word porn and you're doing accounts on kids. Like, it's fair to ask questions. It looks that's not the best approach.
Yep. Hankus Pankus trigger. Yes, that's definitely
When are you gonna start making merch? We need Hankus Pankus or Hanky
nah.
Panky. What?
I don't want to deal with customer service.
That's true. That would suck.
Yeah, I know. I'd be like, oh,
I
there's
want,
Hankus Pankus going on with
I
this
want,
shirt.
I want a Raul PMG, PSA 10 PMG shirt. I want a Hanky Panky shirt. I want a Dan the Cardman Pelican shirt.
Yeah, I mean, if Dan the card man says that, hey, can I make pictures of
We need to.
you
I
know?
want a shirt. I want a shirt of my own, like the KD Topps Chrome rookie card, but I want my face like photoed on. Pump KD pumping time or something.
Yeah, you should do that. You should definitely. You should change your IG handle instead of Splendid Sports. It should be KD Pumping. I don't know,
Need to
something along the lines of that.
figure it out. Juan will give me the right direction.
Oh yeah, Juan,
Juan.
Juan, Juan. Oh man, you know Recting's gonna do a video on you, right?
For what? Talking about Nick Chubb's knee? Everybody
Yeah,
saw it fall off
he's
on
gonna
Monday
curse
Night
you,
Football.
man.
I love John. John's my guy. Hey, in all due respect, John was talking about me touching my cock on the internet. So like I've already made it. I've made it, bro.
Oh man.
Listen to Patches getting blasphemous in here, talking about
Oh yeah, he's like.
Steve's brother, without a doubt, has the best collection of any Splenda. All right, Patches. I see where I stand. Ryan does have a sick.
Yeah, he has a pretty good
He's got
collection.
a nice collection. His is like because he does Hall of Fame baseball. His is like way more diverse than mine. Like I'm pretty player dedicated. Like he's player dedicated to a degree, but just
Yeah.
because he's into Hall of Fame baseball, like his collection's gonna shit on most people's because he's like he has an unlimited amount of greats to just collect and go after and like post.
Yeah, I
So
should have
up
both
to
of you on
Ryan.
one time.
I will say this though, I definitely have better KD flawless patches than Ryan. So I beat him in that.
He doesn't collect basketball, does he?
He
Only
Tim
like old
Duncan.
school?
Tim Duncan.
Yeah, Tim Duncan. Okay.
He does like Duncan. Like that's so my brother to pick the most like under the radar great basketball player who never talks to anybody, who's just does his business and is arguably a top 5 player. Like that is all Ryan. Like he checks every box and he's just somebody nobody talks about, even though how great he was. Like that's like the epitome of my brother.
He has like Maddox cards too.
Yeah,
Greg Maddox and
any baseball Hall of Fame, like he's gonna go after.
interesting.
He just
Patches.
picked up actually a Randy Johnson patch out of like 25 or 50 from when he was with the Diamondbacks. And bro, it's like the guy, it's got that purple and gold. It is the
Yeah.
sickest patch. I don't know if he's posted it yet. I'm not to like spoiler, but
Oh yeah.
he picked up a nasty Randy Johnson game used patch. It's sick.
I think when we break when I open that that set from 1992, the election one with the crazy cards.
Oh, yeah.
With the,
I
what is
bought
it? The
that
JFK
break online.
conspiracy ones
You
and
should
like
come
the
with
Hillary
me.
Clinton ones
You got to get
and
my
the
brother
magic.
on and
No,
like
I'm gonna get your brother on after that. It's
no,
gonna
you
be
should like
you.
totally get him while he's on with it, dude. He'd be
Yeah,
like,
he'd be like, "What
"Oh,
the hell is
what
going on?"
to say?"
I'll be like pulling the Hillary Clinton card and be like, "Hey, it's Miss Pizzagate herself."
Ron would be like,
What
"Oh."
the hell? Oh man. I wonder, speaking of that, I wonder what I don't know if I should even get into this topic, but
No,
like
don't get me in trouble. Okay, go ahead.
like okay, so card porn, I thought okay, they just use kids as a shield.
Mhm.
Right. I didn't think anything weird was going on with the kids would care. I mean, yeah, it was weird doing that, but I don't think, like some Pizzagate stuff was going on. But I think some of that stuff does go on in the hobby, unfortunately, but because it's what 95% male.
I
But
mean, I don't know of anything.
yeah, I don't know of
I don't
anything
know
either,
anything
but
of it, but like, dude, in today's world, I wouldn't be surprised if that type of craziness.
uh,
I don't even like really talking about it because it
yeah,
bothers me. But
yeah,
like,
yeah, but
I wouldn't be surprised if that type of shit goes on in a lot of facets. I
yeah,
mean, dude, it happens with government officials, religion. Like, you can go into Boy Scouts. Like, so I
it's
don't know of
yeah.
anything, but like in sports cards where there is a lot of kids, like unfortunately, it's disgusting and it's terrible and heinous. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if some ever came out. I know anyway.
Yeah, I'll
Think
change
about.
topic, but like, what I do know is there's former drug traffickers in this hobby. I have
Oh
receipts.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, like, I have
Well, that has to
people.
do with the money laundering, and I think why it's probably even more prevalent now is because I think a lot of that happens in the art industry because there's a lot of money laundering and fraud that
Yeah,
goes on in the art industry, and the way the money got dumped into this hobby 2020, 2021, like, I think it became a mechanism for that type of laundering to go down in the hobby. So, like, yeah, I'm not surprised about that at all because it happens in art. And like the sports card hobby isn't the art industry, but it's like it's a very similar market as far as how things go about.
yeah. So like, there's this one guy in the industry. I'm not going to mention, but he came at me indirectly, and I was talking about money laundering in the art industry and
Hunter
how
Biden.
what?
Hunter Biden.
Oh yeah,
Anyway,
good point. But now I'm just thinking, hey, okay, they started to go after the art industry because there are people from Russia, using the auction houses, money laundering, and art. And I'm like, hey, look, this could potentially be going on in sports cards.
mm,
And I caught heat for that. But then now we know, okay, former drug traffickers okay, where do they get the money? And two, I was, some people sent me other information that, hey, look, through another auction house, people are just, engaging in money laundering without a shadow of a doubt.
And see, why do we
So
why do you get so much like, nobody's hating on anybody. Nobody's telling anybody what to do, but, like, we're just talking about something that's probably fairly obvious. Like,
yeah,
why does everybody get their, like, butts so puckered where it's like,
they are
"Oh,
so
no."
negative. Oh,
It
so
is like
negative.
just like barbershop talking, like, dude, if funny money was involved, like, this would be a good place. And now we're seeing people who have passed, like, in a very high esteem in this hobby, where it's like, yeah, I don't think adding two to two together, making four, is that crazy to think. Like,
Yeah, I mean, now it's just that
and we know it happens in art. We
we know
know
what
it happens
happens in
in art.
art, and there's regulation in art. There's more compliance. There's not too much regulation with this industry. So
No.
what logically happens?
I even question a lot of the regulation in art. Like, I question it. I don't know enough about it, but, like, I question some of it. Where I think a lot of the people, like, with the deals that go down, like, I think they know they're laundering money. Hunter Biden.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just thinking that, hey, look, like, are there intelligence officers just purposely laundering money through the auction houses? It sounds insane,
I
but
know. But see, like, in our language, it doesn't
this is
seem that
normal, right?
crazy. Yeah, yeah. Like, that's normal. That's, like, par for the course. But, like, for a lot of people who, like, drink the Kool-Aid, they're like, "What?
What? You what? You
No
think?
way."
Wait, you think the CIA killed JFK or another intelligence agency did? Oh, you never heard of Operation Northwoods? You're a
if, if,
crackpot.
if this is what I tell a lot of people, because you use JFK again, it's like,
Yeah.
if they had to classify and, like, hide information from you, why would you believe the narrative they've put out there? If they have to hide intel from you, why would you believe the narrative behind something like that? Like, they're telling you we won't declassify shit, so it's telling you what is there that you're not willing to declassify. There has to be some intel or information that you don't want us to know. So, like, again, if 2 plus 2 is 4, why would you just believe blindly what they tell you? We're not going to declassify this for another 50 years, for another 20 years, for another, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And then, we know what a false flag operation is. If you tell some of these people about a false flag operation, they'll think that you're a nut job.
Yeah, dude. No, it doesn't exist. It's
This
not what,
doesn't
it's not what
exist.
CNN or Fox told me.
Operation Gladio. Have you ever heard of that? They have not. I mean, if you want to look at some other recent events, I'm not going to get into it, but like,
Oh, no. Oh,
you can't
no.
say that.
Don't do it.
No, no, no.
Don't do it.
Dude,
Don't
if I
say
talk
it.
about that,
Don't say
like,
it.
oh my, some people, what they're going to be like, how could you promote AIH? He's talking about this conspiracy. He makes us look like nut jobs. Oh, yeah, I was, 8 months ahead of everybody else regarding Cardporn. Okay. You won't apologize
Oh,
to me about that.
you sniffed out a lot of the PWCC stuff that was going down too.
Yeah,
Or
exactly. I
fraud,
wasn't
like,
the first one.
because of some of the practices that was going on. So it's not like it's just one thing. Like, you've had,
Yeah.
you know, you're
And
like
then I
Babe
love
Ruth
it.
calling your shots. It's just it's not at the same at bat. It's like 8 months later.
Yeah, I shared a post from Luke Radowski. You know who he is.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't share conspiracy theories. I'm just 8 months ahead of
Yeah.
everybody else.
Yeah,
You know?
dude. And, like, not to take it away from the hobby, like, that's how I feel like my life has been for, like, since 2018, 17, where I was, like, talking about stuff and everybody thought I was nuts. And it's like, just give it 6 months to a year and then you'll be
It's
like,
like, yeah.
oh, well, I guess you were right.
Yeah,
I
and
guess
then
that wasn't as crazy as I thought. I guess
yeah,
the
and then
wet market wasn't so wet.
yeah, and then how these people talk, oh, I'm getting positive again about sports cards. Oh yeah, well, are you going to be positive when the commercial real estate market blows up and the banks collapse?
Yeah.
and they don't get bailed out, what are you going to tell people then? They'd be like, and they're going to go on Instagrams like, oh, the banks didn't have too much money and the commercial real estate
You'll see
issue blew up
TikToks.
because they didn't go into, because people aren't going into work 5 days a week as they used to. They're going to tell you when it happens. The most not annoying thing that I see is that, hey, look, for instance, the PWCC thing, right? P. Ryan talked about it first, right? Then I talked about it, and I talked about how it was ridiculous how they were lending some dude's kid $80,000
Mhm.
to buy sports cards. Sports Card Radio shouted me out, granted, and there are a few other people as well. But no one talked about my video, for instance. And I'm just thinking, like, wait a second, you're talking about it when the loan debacle blows up.
I heard so many excuses for that too. Like, well, that kid, he knows it was because his dad does, but and all this stuff. And it's like, well, hold on. Is at face value a kid that's not graduated from high school is getting an $80,000
That's
loan
the whole
through
loan.
a card auction site? Like piece that together.
They
How
showed it
crazy
on their
has this
YouTube
gotten?
channel.
How crazy has this gotten? And like people will make up every excuse. Well, that was just one. That was just one. Yeah, that one that they happened to get on camera and post it. Like, how many other people were they giving out? Like, what did it take to qualify for this loan? You know what I mean? Like, what? I don't know.
Yeah.
People are just really, really drowning on Kool Aid.
Oh yeah, exactly.
See, finally, man of reason, man of reason. The
Yeah.
banks won't collapse if they invest in KDs.
Yes.
Thank
Exactly.
you, Dan. Shout out Dan. The only like, tell me a better economic sound mind. Dan, thank you. Everybody buy KD cards. That's the
Yeah.
only thing people are going to want a transaction once the banks collapse. Obviously, you want food? I got a KD card. Obviously,
Oh yeah.
you
What are
need
these
ammo.
pumpers gonna say?
This, you need clean water. You need medical supplies. Trade a KD card. You're welcome, world.
Well, say you know I'm right about this commercial real estate bubble and the banks having problems in the next year and a half. What are these pumpers gonna say if that happens? I want to see. What are they gonna say? Oh well, I'm gonna be buying my PMGs.
Dude, they're going to be doing reels and TikToks. They don't care. I mean, they're like so far gone. Like they're so into the matrix that I don't have much hope for some people. Where it's like they're so indoctrinated. Where it's like, oh, how many clicks will I get if I talk about this bank collapse? They're not going to understand. Like, dude, the banks have collapsed. It's like,
Collapsed.
or whatever.
You-
Whatever the event may be happening, they'd rather like, I'm going to TikTok about it.
oh, we gotta blame this party for that.
Yeah,
It's like,
those parties know what's
yeah,
coming. Yeah, it's like you're like 5 steps behind, man.
yeah, and then it's just wild, and I'm just thinking, like, how many of these influencers are going to be around in the next year and a half, 2 years? What are they going to do?
It's weird because it's. I mean, obviously, because we're talking about like banking and all this
Yeah,
stuff. Once a major market schism happens, whether it's a full-on crash or whether we're seeing, like I think we're already seeing the breadcrumbs of like, hey,
yeah. Like, there's
you know what I mean?
the roof is about. You're about to see leaks coming through the roof.
Right,
You're
exactly.
not there yet, but we're getting closer.
So it's like once shit truly hits the fan and people are really like, dude, I have all these cardboard pictures of men and I can't get anything out of it. Or you might have like that's when you're going to see like that's you've talked about once there's blood on the ground, like that's when I'll buy.
Yeah, that's the
It's like if
time
you're
if
not
you can buy.
preparing
Yeah,
for these situations ahead of time, which I'm guilty, I've made buys like, but I didn't spend my paycheck to paycheck money on sports cards. Like I've kind of done things in a way where, I'm buying stuff the way I want and, but like I realize like that's not what's going to get me through the economic crisis. Like if shit really hits the fan, like
yeah.
yeah,
You want to have
the
food and
card,
water. You
yeah, the
forget about
cards are
your
going to be in
sports
the safe,
cards.
locked away, but they're not as important as everything else, whether it's cash
Food,
flow, food,
food,
medical, like,
water.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
unless they're KD cards,
Yeah,
obviously.
KD cards. Yeah,
KD.
exactly. Exactly.
We might as well partake in a little bit of the Kool-Aid, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
KD cards, it's better than gold.
Yeah. I'm just thinking like, should we just start going after some of these influencers for drinking the Kool-Aid? Or is it that
No,
they don't know any better, so you just leave it
well,
alone?
that's what I would say. I do think there is a big demographic of young guys who, like, they're just getting their feet wet into the real world, and, like, they're so,
I don't
like,
think they're young, but I see people in the 40s in their hobby that drink
oh,
the
yeah,
Kool-Aid.
there's those guys too, but, like, I do think there's, like, certain guys who are young and say they've never really had real money or a real job or, like, real steady income or, like, paid a mortgage, like, living in mama's house, flying from show to show. Like, there's guys out there like that that I don't think they really understand the grander, like, economic things that are going down and what we're seeing, and like when things are, they might be so invested in their cards, hopefully they're saving their money if they are profiting off of cards, which right now it's let's be honest, it's probably hard to profit off cards unless you have a crazy inventory. Like, it's going to be more difficult now than ever, because I guess, like, the great flood of the hobby was 2020, where it was very easy to make money, and, like, since 20 end of 2021, beginning of 2022, it's not been that way. So unless guys saved money, and let's be honest, younger guys are more frivolous. They're going to spend. They're going to go travel. They're going to go do stuff. Like, they think, oh, there's always tomorrow, instead of having that mindset. I'm going to sacrifice today and save for tomorrow you know but that's a more mature economic mentality. I mean, when I was like 22, I'm not going to act like I was perfect making every correct
Right, right. I mean, we
decision,
all
you know what I
made
mean?
mistakes when we're young. I'm just
Right.
saying, when you get older, you detect these things. It's not about being, oh, let's be positive, and just overlook all of the other issues going on. I don't know. I just find it to be fake.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you that's what I you kind of have to, like, as much as I enjoy the hobby, because I'm not going to pretend like I don't. There's a reason I'm here. I definitely like certain cards, man, and I want to collect them. But if you can't take a step back and you're like, okay, these are cardboard pictures of men.
Yeah.
Like, like, in the real world, like when real things are going on, like there's real shit going down in the world where people are struggling and they have harder times. Like, we're very blessed, but
Right.
these cardboard pictures of men really only carry collector's value. There's no real value there. Like, I don't know how to explain it better, but like, you can't go get a loan or take a loan out on the cards you have. I know what PWCC was doing, but like in the real world, that shit doesn't fly.
Yeah, there are some companies out there that do it, but yeah, that's not the real world.
Yeah.
There's not too much demand for these as of right now.
No, believe
And
me, and you're right, because like we think the hobby is this big thing, but really everybody knows everybody.
yeah, exactly.
The
Like
hobby's not that
I'm
big.
not saying this in a weird way, but like, you know, Ken Golden reached out to me because of certain reasons, when I was talking about Cardporn, right?
Mhm.
Something made him reach out to me. Okay. So if Ken Golden reaches out to a person with less than 1,500 subs on IG, 3,000 subs on YouTube, like, people are accessible in this hobby,
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
not as, yeah, it's not as big
It's
as,
not too big if a CEO is reaching out to me and some people close to let me just say this, I talked to Darren Ravel on the phone for 10 minutes, you know, 4 weeks ago or something like that when Card Porn Store was coming out. So,
yeah.
look, this hobby isn't too big if that's happening.
We're more intertwined than people think,
Yeah.
and like, if things do hit a rock bottom or a crazy shit, like, they're like, the bigger scheme of economics, no one's going to give shit about our cards.
Exactly. I mean, here's the thing also where I see a lot of people right now, they're saying like the economy's strong. And I see in the comment section here, I'm not bashing anyone, just making observations that, hey, look, demand's great for real estate. Yeah, it is right now. A lot of people, they don't want to sell their homes right now. So you don't see that typical market action. But when you have an inverted yield curve like we do now, and other problems in the economy, I'm not going to get too much into it. There's trouble ahead. Not in a month, not 2 months, but year and a half.
Yeah.
It still looks like
Within 2 to 3 years, yeah.
yeah,
We're
it
gonna
could
be looking
happen
at things.
sooner.
We're gonna be looking at things a lot
A
differently, and
lot different. We're gonna be looking
people's
at things a lot
price
different.
tags on their cards are gonna go way down.
Probably. You may have a little blip here, little spike here, but it's not going to be pretty. And, you got to prepare for other things besides sports cars. And that's why, I have you on. I have my other friend John on too. It's like food and water is going to be important during that, not pieces of cardboard with men on it.
Unless it's KD.
Yeah, unless it's KD. Exactly. I know it's getting late on your end, Steve. So, where can people?
Honestly, I needed this because right after that Notre Dame game, bro,
Yeah.
I felt like the best girl at the dance turned me down. My heart was broken.
Yeah, I mean, like the way that if I were you, it's like a Cubs, get eliminated out of, the playoffs. That's how I'd feel. Or the
It's
Bears getting eliminated out of the playoffs. That's, I don't have a college football team, so
trust me, I'd root for Notre Dame because I'm
yeah,
just Catholic. My whole family was
yeah, right,
we grew up watching Notre Dame. It's what it is. Even on my
yeah,
mom's side, everybody's Catholic. That was our team. But like,
right,
yeah, bro, this one hurts. This one
yeah.
stinks. And living in Ohio, because like I gotta be honest, High State.
Oh yeah, that's right. You live in
Bro,
Ohio, and the Ohio
Ohio
State
State
won.
fans, God bless them because they're a passionate, loyal, devout fan base, which is admirable. Like, dude, they'll blindly follow and argue for their team better than any group that I've ever seen in my life. But they are the worst. Like that blind loyalty and love, like it's really, really, really rough. And I'm a pretty fair Notre Dame fan. Like, if they suck, I'll be like, yeah, bro, they suck. For like, I'm not gonna pretend like we've been relevant since like the fucking early '90s. Like, I'm not that we're Notre Dame, we're the best. No, I'm a realist. Sometimes the majority of the High State fans I've come across, it's like we're the best no matter what. And you're like, you're really not, you know. But yeah, it sucks because I'm just surrounded by them, and they're all happy, and I'm miserable.
Yep, your boy
Just a
Card
damn,
Collector 2.
just a
It's
damn
probably,
shame.
I think Card Collector 2 is probably jumping up and down.
I watched it with my pap and his neighbor, and his
Yeah.
neighbor is a Buckeye fan.
Oh
But we're
man,
all,
that's
we all get along. We play
yeah,
cards
yeah.
together every day, so it's like
Right.
just watching that little motherfucker cheer at the end of that game. Oh, damn it, Roger! Fucking dick. I mean, it wasn't his fault. It was our defense's fault. And the offensive coordinator. That last drive before we punted, I thought to myself, this might be like we ran for a first down on first down. We get the ball back, and we have a chance to like physically instill our will with our 230-pound back who just ran for 10 yards on first down. We got a first down again. And what do? You make the worst second down call and lose 5 yards trying to get fucking cute. And it's like, you can't get behind the sticks in this moment where you need to like churn out first downs to beat the clock. Dude, oh God, never mind. I don't want to see. This is why I needed to talk about something other than the game because that's like
Yeah.
pissed me
Talked
off.
about Cardporn and some tinfoil hat stuff, and then whenever I buy that
What about
box
Bill Gates, Juan, and Cardporn?
for Bill Gates, some people probably unsubscribe when we talk about Bill Gates and all that.
People get
But
mad. I can't believe how many like Bill Gates people are like that clueless.
I don't know, man. Like a lot of people drink they drink the Kool-Aid, in society. I can't talk to a lot of people.
Overwhelmingly, though, when I made that comment on Nat's post with the Bill Gates thing,
Yeah.
can't even remember what it was, but it was something Bill Gates. Dude, overwhelmingly, there was a lot of people commenting on there like, "Yeah, man, fuck Bill Gates." Like, I was surprised. I thought people were gonna get like pissed at me. I was like, "Why'd I comment that?" Like, I'm only like putting a target on me. People are gonna get shitty with me. I kept getting like either tagged or commented on. They were like, "Yeah, man, fuck Bill Gates." It was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, like, there aren't too many people that I can talk to about things in society. I mean, like, you're one of them. And then I had a cab ride. I was in Orlando. Some dude, he's originally from Haiti. He's getting into like wild
Oh
stuff. I
boy.
was telling you, he's telling
Oh
me all
boy.
sorts of conspiracy theories, and
No,
then
no.
I can't get into this.
Not TinFoil for this one. Haiti?
Yeah,
No, no. Don't
yeah,
talk
and
about
then,
Oprah. No, no.
yeah, and then he's getting to topics about like people dancing after a certain
Uh-oh.
event 20
Oh,
years ago. I'm like,
oh,
oh
bro.
boy. I'm thinking like you're lucky I don't snitch on. I'm not gonna go to Uber saying that. Yeah, this guy was saying like really offensive stuff. But
That's funny. That
yeah,
sounds like a good Uber driver, though. Like
yeah.
somebody who would break it down and like just doesn't give a shit and like, I'm gonna say what I want in my car.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
and, like, the
respect
first
that.
first thing he told my, like, wife and me, he's like, "I've been war with the white people." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, I just met you for the first time."
That's a
He's
little
like
much. Yeah, that's a
like,
little much
"What?"
upon like
It's
just
like,
meeting
"Whoa,
somebody.
whoa, I just met you for the first time, bro. Just take me to my hotel." So I just kept on listening, I'm polite, I'm like, "Okay, okay." And then he talked about 9/11, these dancers after 9/11. I'm like, okay.
That's it. Honestly, that sounds like a pretty awesome. Honestly, as a white guy, if I was in that Uber, I'd be like, "Preach, bro! Like I'm here to listen. Like, tell me what's going on. I want to know what you hate. Let me know. Give it to me. I'd rather know than not know. Like,
Yeah, and then he was talking to, and then I said, "You listen to Alex Jones?" He said, "Yeah, I listen to Alex Jones sometime." Yeah, he says it like
you
it is basically. And then he was talking about
that's a good icebreaker. Is when you meet you
yeah,
ever listen
yeah,
to
yeah. I'm like,
him.
okay, then I could talk about some things. And then he talked about, they're putting these food and chemical in the water supply. They're giving people cancer. And I'm like, okay, keep on
Mhm.
talking. And he says, I grow my own food. I'm like, oh wow, this is interesting. And then
Yeah.
he says, like, have you heard of there's this one guy from the Dominicans. Then I said, Dr. Sebi. He said, yeah, yeah, they killed him. I'm like, yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
And all sorts of stuff.
You
But
better give this Uber driver a
I
five-star
tipped him. I
review.
told him that you were like one of the best Uber drivers I've ever had.
I kind of wish I was there.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be like, I've been war with your people, Steve.
I'd have been like, "Tell me what's wrong, bro."
Yeah.
I agree with you. I can't stand the women.
Oh man.
Drive me nuts.
Oh man.
You're not getting monetized for this stream, by the
Yeah,
way.
I don't know. I may get demonetized, but I'm like, this is worth it.
That's what I bring to the table.
Yeah, yeah. I can talk to you about these type of things. Like some people, if I talk the way I do with you, they get really uncomfortable. I'm not gonna mention the guy, but like one guy when I was talking about this, he got really uncomfortable. And it was
Well,
I think one time DeMar Hamlin collapsed in the back of my mind. I'm thinking like
mm,
it's
we talked
probably
about
the
that before.
jab.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't say that publicly.
Dude, any perfectly healthy athlete in the prime of their career who
That
collapsed
doesn't happen.
and
I mean,
has
like,
cardiac issues, like, I mean, is it that crazy to ask that question today? Like, I
I
don't
mean,
think
you're
that's
called a conspiracy
that
theorist.
crazy to be like question, like, hey, what is something that potentially could have caused something like this for some? Because it seems more common now than ever.
Bronny James had a heart attack. Are we not allowed to ask that question? I
That's
mean, I hope he
crazy,
gets
dude.
better. I hope he
Oh
gets
yeah,
better.
and see, I think that's what people do. Is like they're so emotional, but like I can't. You're not allowed to talk about it because why? Like of
Why?
course we want him to get better. Like we want to know why because
Why?
that would probably be for the betterment of him And
Yeah,
everybody else, you know, hey,
yeah,
HIPAA didn't care in 2020 and 2021. So, like, what? We're going to pretend like, oh, everybody's health information is private again. It's like, it wasn't for a long time.
yeah, exactly. And then they bashed Aaron Rodgers and what's his name, Kyrie.
Yeah.
I'm like, I defended them. I
Mhm.
defended them from the beginning. I got heat for defending them. So I just find it odd. Very, very strange.
He'd be a conspiracy theorist and a contrarian.
Oh wait, your boy's reckoning. Steve sells the jab. Steve is big pharma. How so?
Yeah. Explain yourself, Reckoning. You sound
Because
like
you
fake news.
he called me a Fox News guy. I'm like, I don't listen to Fox News.
He
I
also
listen to
calls you a
I listen to
fraud.
InfoWars. I
He
listen to
calls you a fraud
InfoWars.
because you get pack pooled cards altered by having people sign them.
Oh, because of his Nick Chubb cards? Are you talking about that?
No, I'm talking about what John called you. He said you were a fraud because you were
Yeah.
getting pack pooled cards and you were getting them altered by having people hand sign them.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Which, hey, I respect John and his insight. If that's how you feel, God bless you. I think that's why John and I are like brothers from other mothers, where it's like we're fine disagreeing and we're fine talking about each other's cocks on the internet. But when it comes when it comes down to it, you know, we respect each other.
Well, he hasn't done a video in what, a few
I don't
weeks?
know. Be honest, God bless John. I haven't, Steve.
You know
My
he's gonna
brother,
do a video tonight.
Steve is a drug dealer. What is your job, Steve? I'm not going to talk about my job, bro. But no, I'm not a
You're
drug
a drug
dealer.
dealer. New video. Splenda is a what is it called?
The big pharma advocate.
Yeah, because he
John,
supports Barry Bonds.
I can understand why John is upset. His favorite player's knee is not attached to his leg right now. Like, I can understand. My team just lost to the team I hate the most. Like, I know that feeling. It's called sports agony. Like, we're both there. I'm right there with you, John. It's just there's no disputing the fact that LT is better though. Like, LT is better than Nick Chubb.
You know what we should do? We should do a live stream of all the people whose parents are not the real parents. You know how he does the Michael Jackson thing? His real
Yeah,
parents are,
yeah.
Smokey Robinson and Diana
We should
Ross.
go
That's his
through all
thesis,
the
right?
mainstream people that we think their kids aren't their kids.
Yeah. Like, what was it like? Hillary Clinton?
You
Oh,
gotta
not
start
Hillary.
you gotta
Well,
start another channel where it's not like not card affiliate. Like,
yeah, not card
I don't
affiliate.
know.
It's gonna be demonetized. I'll be like, yo, what's her name? Chelsea Clinton looks like Webster Hubble or whatever the
That's
hell his name is.
that's where I think John should take advantage of. Like,
Yeah.
John is that guy in the hobby where, like, he's blown the Michael Jackson story.
So then why
Not
not
blown it
blow
as in
other
jail, like,
people?
he's blown it up so that people are aware. Like,
Yeah.
John is woke, like, not the woke we're talking about, mainstream woke. Like, John knows shit. Like, John should be like doing. I mean, I'm not telling him what to do. John should do whatever he wants. But like, you could go on and talk way more about like other scandalous hidden celebrity situations and bring that to light too.
Yeah, you could talk about the pizza parties and expose that.
But even with one leg, Chubb can still win a Super Bowl. LT can't. John, stop it. He plays for the Browns. The Browns. Deshaun Watson is their quarterback. Stop it. LT is going to go farther. At least LT made an AFC championship. Like, Nick Chubb will never go that far unless he joins Patrick Mahomes. But I don't think anybody's in the market for a one kneecap running back currently. Hell, they won't even pay good running backs in the NFL right now.
Yep. They're done after 6, 7 years.
It doesn't take away that your Nick Chubb collection is pretty legit and awesome, but your man only has one knee. That's a problem.
No. All right, I think we should be wrapping up. soon.
I'm gonna watch some
Anyways,
Notre Dame podcasts and sulk in my misery because I want to hear what they had to say about the game.
anyways, Steve, where can people find you again?
Um, uh, Not on YouTube unless I'm with you or like Dan or somebody. Instagram at Splenda Sports Cards. Follow me or don't, doesn't matter to me. Um, but yeah, Instagram would be the best way. Reach out if you want to talk about how miserable Notre Dame's loss was, or how awesome Ladainian Tomlinson is in comparison to Nick Chubb. We can talk about that.
Yeah. Oh,
Thank you
hey.
for having me on, like
Yep.
always. I appreciate it. This was good therapy for me after that loss.
Yep. Yep. And tomorrow morning, I'm pretty sure you'll see a video blasting you about your LT collection.
Well,
Yep. He's
I'm
gonna
all
come
right
out.
with it. I'm all right with it.
All right.
John and I respect each other. God bless you, John. God bless everybody in the chat. I do hope Chubb gets better, though. I think he is a good player.
All right, man.
Yep.
Talk to you later. And
Take it easy,
thanks,
bud.
audience. All right. See you.